In love, everyone hopes to find a companion to share with, to be supported by, and to grow together. However, not every relationship brings happiness. There are small signs at the beginning that are easy to overlook, but if they continue, they will gradually turn you into a weaker version of yourself, lacking confidence and emotionally drained. This video points out 7 dangerous signs, from emotional manipulation and disrespecting boundaries, to neglect in intimacy and even betrayal. If you recognize one or more of these signs, it is not just a warning, but a signal for you to seriously consider walking away before you lose yourself. The harsh truth about love, illusions, and courage. There is a universal experience in human relationships, one that almost everyone encounters at some point in life. At the beginning, you believe everything is fine. You believe she is the one you want to commit to for the long run. On the surface, the love story looks perfect. It sparkles with smiles, promises, and shared dreams. But deep inside, in a quiet corner of your heart, something whispers that not all is right, that unease does not come crashing in all at once. It seeps in little by little, like hairline cracks on a wall that once looked unshakable. At first, you choose to ignore it. You reassure yourself that you are just being overly sensitive, that perhaps you are overthinking. You tell yourself that with patience, everything will return to harmony. But reality is not built on wishful thinking. Those small signs are warnings, and if you continue to look away, they will only grow stronger, slowly eroding your peace of mind. You might think you are preserving a complete love, but in truth, you are exchanging your emotional safety for the illusion of stability. Sometimes, the thing that terrifies us most is not the reality itself, but the admission that we placed our trust in the wrong person. Denial becomes the trap that exhausts you. You silence your instincts, and in doing so, you silence yourself. The harsh truth needs to be spoken without hesitation. If she engages in certain behaviors, the issue is not your overthinking or suspicion. The issue is the reality you are trying not to see. This is the moment to confront yourself honestly, to protect your mental health, your peace, and your dignity. Negative patterns and destructive actions do not arrive in storms. They arrive in subtle habits, repeated in silence until they reshape you. Left unchecked, they carve away at your confidence, draining your joy, and leaving behind a hollow version of who you once were. It does not happen overnight. It is the slow violence of repetition. One day, you wake up and find yourself unrecognizable. A person who doubts his every decision. A person who must tread carefully even in the space that is supposed to be safe, his own relationship. What should have been a sanctuary has become a battlefield. What should have been a place of comfort has turned into the source of your deepest exhaustion. If you allow this cycle to continue, the consequences are inevitable. You will begin to lose trust in yourself. The simplest choices, what to say, what to do, where to go, become clouded by doubt. And the doubt does not stay contained in romance, it spreads into your friendships, your work, your passions, even into the way you see yourself in the mirror. Eventually, you realize that you are merely existing within the relationship, not truly living. You accept survival over vitality. You maintain a connection that lacks life, instead of being inspired, uplifted, and allowed to grow. But hear this clearly, you deserve far more. A healthy love does not suffocate. It does not drain you to your bones. A healthy love makes you stronger, steadier, and more alive. The right partner helps you grow into your potential, not chains you to your fears. And if what you are clinging to is the opposite, then it is not love. It is attachment. It is a weary struggle disguised as intimacy. It is the kind of bond that slowly convinces you to forget your worth. Therefore, if even one of these warning signs appears, you must have the courage to consider leaving. This is not hollow encouragement or shallow motivation. This is truth born from the urgency of protecting your time, your spirit, and your future. Ask yourself the question you fear the most: do I truly want to stay in a relationship like this? If the deepest answer within you is no, then you already know what must be done. Love is not supposed to be a never-ending war where you constantly prove your value. Love is not supposed to reduce you into a competitor for your own dignity. Love should be the ground where fairness and respect grow. When that foundation is gone, walking away is not betrayal, it is survival. It is the only path left to reclaim your life. Do not let fear or habit chain you to a place that no longer fits. Comfort can be a prison. Familiarity can be a cage. You think you are staying because of love, but often you are staying because of fear, the fear of starting over, the fear of loneliness, the fear of not being enough. Yet courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting even while fear shakes within you. And here is what you must remember: once you see the warning signs, you cannot unsee them. They will echo in your mind. They will shadow every silence, every repeated behavior, every glance that feels wrong. You can pretend to ignore them, but every time you do, the responsibility shifts onto your shoulders. Every time you dismiss the truth, you are granting permission for yourself to be hurt again. Ignoring is not healing. Ignoring is surrender. Once the truth is clear, only one step remains: decisiveness. Your future does not belong to her choices, her moods, or her excuses. Your future belongs to you. No one else can protect your dignity for you. No one else can rescue your peace. If you want a life of serenity, happiness, and self-respect, you must know the moment when walking away is the only door left open. That decision may terrify you, but that decision is the first act of freedom. Understand this: courage is rarely comfortable, but it is the first step toward a love that is real. A love that does not require constant defense. A love where you do not have to second-guess yourself. A love where you do not have to endure silence as punishment or affection as a weapon. When you find that kind of love, or when you build it within yourself, you will realize what you have been missing all along. The irony is that we often cling hardest to the very thing that hurts us most. We tell ourselves that if we just try harder, if we just give more, if we just wait longer, it will change. But the truth is, love that constantly demands your suffering is not love. It is dependency dressed as devotion. It is fear disguised as loyalty. It is weakness pretending to be patience. Life is short. Time is brutal in its passing. Every day you remain in the wrong place, you are surrendering a day you will never get back. Every moment you allow yourself to be diminished, you are trading away a piece of yourself that will not easily return. You are not infinite. Your soul has limits. Your heart has boundaries, and you are responsible for protecting them. It is easy to confuse endurance with virtue. We are taught to believe that staying through pain is a mark of loyalty. But sometimes staying is not loyalty, it is betrayal of yourself. It is betrayal of the very soul you were meant to protect. Stoic philosophy teaches us that freedom is not granted by others, it is claimed by ourselves. If you want peace, you must choose it. If you want dignity, you must defend it. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is not failure. Walking away is the clearest statement of self-respect you can make. It is the declaration that your life is too precious to be wasted, that your love is too sacred to be trampled, that your future is too valuable to be spent in chains. When you finally step away from the wrong relationship, you do not lose. You gain. You gain back your voice, your clarity, your strength. You regain the mornings that no longer begin with doubt, the nights that no longer end in silence. You regain the joy of being yourself, unbroken and unashamed. And from that place, you become capable of loving in the right way, with the right person, at the right time. So let the illusion fall. Let the mask slip. Let the cracks you once ignored finally reveal the truth. Then use the truth as your compass. Use it to walk into a life where you no longer have to beg for respect, where love is not a battlefield, but a home. The future is in your hands, no one else's. Do not wait until exhaustion forces you into surrender. Choose courage before desperation chooses for you. Remember this: when the signs appear, they are not your enemy. They are your wake-up call. They are the universe telling you that your worth is greater than your fear. And once you understand that, you will never again settle for less than the love you deserve. The first sign: she makes you doubt yourself. In a healthy relationship, you should feel heard and understood. But if the woman beside you constantly makes you question whether your memory and emotions are valid, that is a subtle form of manipulation. Suppose you clearly say, "I don't like it when you do that," instead of responding sincerely or having an honest conversation. She looks at you with innocent eyes and completely denies it. "I never did that. You're just imagining things." At first, you might think you're being too sensitive, but over time you begin to feel increasingly lost, as every conversation turns into a battle inside your mind where you can no longer distinguish between what is true and what is an excuse she has created. This is not love, it is a strategy to undermine your confidence, making you dependent and more willing to accept unreasonable things. When you constantly doubt yourself, the relationship becomes a cage that imprisons your spirit. Someone who truly loves you will lift you up and strengthen your confidence, not destroy your self-respect bit by bit. If you are in this situation, remember that your worth is untouchable and no one has the right to make you question your own sanity. Do not mistake control for love. Once you recognize the truth, the wisest choice is to walk away before you completely lose yourself. The second sign. She does not respect your boundaries. Personal boundaries are the protective fence of your mind and balance in a relationship. And if a woman does not value them, then she does not truly respect you either. When you say, "I need some space to rest," but the response is blame or sulking, it shows that she sees your needs as an inconvenience. When you express discomfort about the way she interacts intimately with others, instead of having an honest dialogue, she dismisses and mocks you, making you feel unreasonable. A relationship cannot be sustainable if the limits you set are constantly trampled on. Someone who does not respect your boundaries is not really a partner but more like someone slowly taking away your peace, time, and mental energy. If this continues, you will lose important parts of yourself, things that may never be recovered. Do not excuse it by saying she's just a little stubborn, because a lack of respect, no matter how small, is a sign of selfishness. A woman who truly loves you will understand that boundaries are not meant to divide but to allow both people to feel comfortable and grow. If she laughs it off and belittles what you need, then you should consider walking away, because staying long-term with such a person will only drain you. The third sign. She always turns herself into the victim. Everyone has moments of weakness, but if in every situation she plays the role of the injured party, it is a dangerous signal. Whenever there is conflict, instead of admitting mistakes, she finds a way to twist things so that you become the main cause. If she lies, you are blamed for creating the pressure that forced her to do so. If she loses her temper, she claims it was you who provoked her. Even when she neglects the relationship, you are accused of not caring enough. This is not sharing, it is an emotional shield she uses to avoid responsibility. When you are constantly placed in the role of the guilty one, no matter how big or small the issue, your self-respect will slowly erode. You may try to explain and argue, but everything always circles back to the same conclusion: you are at fault. Stuck in such a cycle, you will never find fairness, nor can you ever win. A relationship like this becomes nothing more than a psychological game where you are drained from endlessly having to prove your innocence. The person worthy of you is someone brave enough to admit mistakes and work with you to resolve problems, not someone who turns you into an emotional punching bag. If you find yourself constantly blamed for everything, it is time to step out of this toxic spiral. The fourth sign. She does not respect your time. Time is the most valuable asset. Once it passes, it cannot be regained. Yet in some relationships, there are women who treat it as if it has no worth. You may have planned to meet, but at the last minute she cancels without the slightest sense of guilt. You are always the one left waiting, the one forced to bend to her schedule and shifting moods. When you express your frustration, she belittles your feelings and says you are being too dramatic. But the truth is that disregarding your time is the same as disregarding you. A person who truly values you will keep their promises and cherish every moment spent together, because that is the simplest way to show love. When you are constantly pushed to the bottom of her priority list, You begin to feel like nothing more than a backup option rather than an important partner. This lack of respect does not just waste a few hours of waiting. Over time, it steals opportunities, patience, and even pieces of your life. If she is willing to waste your time now, the future will be no different. She will make you lose years of what is most precious. A relationship like this cannot bring fulfillment, it only leaves emptiness. The fifth sign. She has stopped making an effort. When love first begins, everything often shines like fireworks. She cares about her appearance, pays attention to every little detail, and even takes the initiative to create surprises that make you feel special. But over time, that effort begins to fade. She no longer cares about refreshing herself, no longer listens to the struggles you share, and gradually treats your presence as something to be taken for granted. This is a clear sign that she has stopped investing in the relationship. Real love requires continuous care from both sides. No connection can be sustained if only one person is still trying. When effort disappears, affection also fades, replaced by indifference and neglect. The cold truth is this: if she no longer cares about making you happy, then you no longer have any reason to stay. A worthwhile relationship is one in which both people see each other as the important, not one giving endlessly while the other passively takes. You need someone who is still willing to invest energy even after years together. Because love is not measured only by past memories, but also by present effort. If she has already let go, then your only choice is to walk forward alone and find someone who truly values you. The sixth sign. She disregards your sex life. In a mature and healthy relationship, sex is not merely about satisfying physical needs, it is also an emotional bridge, a way for two people to bond, share intimacy, and nurture love. When both partners value this closeness, the relationship becomes stronger, as it reflects care, attentiveness, and mutual respect. However, if she treats it lightly, shows indifference, or uses sex as a tool to control, it is a serious warning sign. Some turn sex into a weapon, giving it only when they want something or withholding it as punishment when angry. Such behavior gradually makes you feel unappreciated, turning intimacy into a stressful negotiation rather than a natural expression of love. On the other hand, if she completely ignores the sexual aspect, disregarding your needs and feelings, that coldness also leaves you feeling lonely within the relationship itself. Physical closeness should never be a one-sided obligation, it must come from genuine desire and affection from both partners. When this element disappears, love loses its spark, lacks connection, and easily turns into a dull, even frustrating relationship. Someone who truly loves you will not only share laughter and daily conversations but also want to maintain harmony in intimacy. If you notice prolonged indifference or manipulation in your sex life, be alert, because that is no longer a healthy connection. The seventh sign. She betrays your trust. Trust is the foundation upon which any relationship can survive and grow. When two people choose to commit, there is an unspoken promise to remain loyal, honest, and to build together. But if a woman betrays you, whether through physical or emotional infidelity, the bond is already severely fractured. Some may say it was just once, but the truth is that once is enough to cause deep pain. When you realize you have been deceived, the sense of safety disappears. Doubts creep into every action: where she goes, who she talks to, or why she smiles at that message. Even if you try to forgive, the crack in trust remains and haunts you daily. What must be understood is that betrayal rarely comes from accident, but from selfishness and disrespect. If she seeks attention from someone else instead of addressing the issues within your relationship, it shows that you are no longer valued. You deserve someone who keeps their promises and stays faithful, not someone ready to break commitments. And if she betrays you without genuine remorse, without making an effort to repair the damage, then the longer you stay, the more you wound yourself. Real love cannot coexist with deceit. At that point, walking away with courage is the only way to preserve your dignity and open the door to finding someone worthy, someone who sees loyalty as a non-negotiable value. a decisive reminder for you. When you recognize one or more of the signs above, do not hesitate. You do not need explanations or a neatly wrapped ending. What you need is the courage to walk away, to protect your peace, self-respect, and happiness. At this point, you must face the truth. If the woman you are with shows these behaviors, there is no reason left to hold on. Leaving is not weakness, it is a wise choice to safeguard yourself. You do not owe anyone a long explanation, nor do you need a beautiful closure to feel at ease. The reality is, once someone has repeatedly manipulated, disrespected, and neglected you, there is nothing left worth clinging to. The longer you delay, the longer you stay, the more your peace, confidence, and dignity will be stripped away day by day. Someone who disregards you will not magically change just because you endure more. Your time is limited, and you cannot afford to waste it in a toxic relationship. The right choice is a decisive step forward without turning back so you can open the door to a kinder, more deserving love. Remember, a healthy relationship never demands that you sacrifice your emotional safety. Wake up. The most important truth you must remember is this: your value does not depend on whether others recognize it or not. You are inherently worthy of respect. And if she makes you fade, if she dims the light that is naturally yours, then you have every right to walk away. No one deserves your sacrifice of self-confidence, joy, and dignity. When the person beside you only knows how to take without giving back, leaving is the way to reclaim your personal strength. Do not believe you need some perfect closure to find peace. In reality, the act of leaving itself is the closure. From the moment you choose to protect yourself, you prove that you are strong enough not to live in someone else's shadow. Be courageous enough to put an end to it, because only then will you have the chance to find someone who truly values you. Life is too short to waste in a love that drains you. Let your light shine where it is cherished, not extinguished by indifference. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality. Things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate Grey.